why belief in God is dangerous. Why having a belief in God is dangerous. Once you open yourself to believe in that there is a God somewhere that created the world. Once you believe in that there's such a God that created the world, you have opened up yourself to manipulation, because the belief in God is actually the idea of some persons. Okay, it was created by some persons and is an ancient idea. And that idea, because of fear, people are not able to live beyond it, even in this modern time. So once you believe in God, you've opened yourself up to manipulation, and people will manipulate you. And who are the people that will manipulate you? The people that are the custodians of that idea, of the God idea, of the God belief. They will manipulate you. And you can see, look at the word. There are two big, huge sets of people that are being manipulated and being used against, the world right now. You talk about Christianity, you talk about Islam. These people are all under the manipulation of the religious leaders who are the custodians of the beliefs that they have. You see that? So once you believe in God, you will also believe that that same God sent somebody to you. In the case of Christianity, Christians believe that that same God sent Jesus Christ to them, who in turn sent 12 apostles, who in turn sent their own pastors, okay, right now to preach to them, to tell them what to do, how to live, and all that. And then if you are on the other side, we'll talk about Islam, you will now believe that the God who created the world sent a prophet. After Jesus Christ, he sent a prophet who is the final prophet. There's no other prophet in the world anymore. None will be sent anymore. He is the final prophet to humanity, and you must believe everything he tells you, everything that he says in the Holy Book. And then how would you believe in that? You will not believe what the leaders in the organization, the leaders in the religion, what they tell you from the Holy Book. So you believe in them. So whatever they tell you, you must believe it, or else you'll be in trouble. You see that? So you are under serious manipulation from time to time. You're manipulated. You're told what to do. You cannot take decisions for your own life without looking at the book, or looking at what these leaders have to tell you. Especially in Christianity, you have to believe in your pastors, you have to believe in your bishops and teachers and all the prophets. What they tell you is what you believe and you do. And in Islam, you must believe what the Islamic clerics, what they tell you. And that is why there's always a gathering where all these rules and laws and regulations and whatever that are believed to have come from God, they are repeated to you every week, every time they're repeated to you. And so you must live your life according to these principles. And the funny thing is, none of these people are able to actually live according to the principles that they claim come from their God. And then they say, oh, if you violate the principles, then you seek forgiveness and you'll be forgiven, then you start again. So it's like a circle. You're going round and round a circle. You're not going anywhere. You're just in one place, for so many years. Like, there's so many people who were born in these religions. They've been there for years, tens of years, some 50 years, 30 years. Some even lived and died in the religion, trying to please this God that they're told that owns their life and all that. So when you believe that a particular God owns your life, you have actually submitted your life to the people that own that idea, that ideology. The people that brought that God, the people that revealed that God, and those who are still custodians, that is, those who are still custodians of that idea, you have submitted your life to them so they can manipulate you. You see that? That is the reason why, for instance, currently in Nigeria, one of the prophets is selling soap, for prosperity. And the people believe that when they bathe with that soap, they're going to prosper and all that. So there's a whole lot of confusion that you let into your life once you believe there is a God, such a God. But if you don't believe that there is such a God, if you don't believe in God, then you have the freedom to choose what you want in your life. You have the freedom to choose what you want to believe. You have the freedom to choose where you want to be, what you want to do with your life. And the funny thing is, most of these people make you to believe that morality comes from their God. Without their God, you can't be moral. Okay, but morality is not tied to any religion. It comes from within you. Okay, it's your decision and all that. And today we live in a society that is highly democratized. We have laws, we have rules and regulations that govern every society. And democratic societies is where people come together to decide the future, to decide what is good for them, to decide how they want to live. But one of the reasons why democracies that we find ourselves in our societies, why these democracies are not working well, is because of the influence of religion, the influence of religious sects, because they want what they believe to be in the constitution. For instance, when we talk about Islam, they want everybody to obey Sharia, the law of Sharia and all of that, because they believe that law is a law from their God, and every other person is subject to their God, and every other person must submit themselves to the sovereign will of their God, as written in the Holy Book. So all of these influences our politics and all that. You see that? Then from the Christian perspective, they believe that the Bible, should decide how people should live on earth. But even the Bible itself contains a lot of things that are against what even Christianity preaches today. You see that? So all of these influences from religion is a major reason why our democracies are not actually working well. Because there's so much influences from these religions to control the society, because all they're fighting for is control. They're fighting for how they can control the society, and whoever controls the society controls the resources. So it's all about resources. If you read the Bible, it talks about the fact that the God of the Jews gave them a particular land. He gave it to Abraham, promised Abraham and all that. You see that? And then you talk about Islam, you see that they tell you that all of the things in the world belongs to their God. You see that? He owns everything. He owns you. He owns everything. So they want to decide what happens in the world, what happens to you, what happens around you, what happens with your resources, because they believe it belongs to their God. So you must submit to their God. And when you submit to their God, what happens? You've submitted to them. And now let me tell you something. The funny thing is, all of the revelations that are written in their books, in the so-called holy books, they came through dreams and visions. From the Bible, you see that? Dreams and visions and all that. And, some encounters that, are recorded to have been, that happened that nobody was there. That they met with God, that the prophets met with God. Talk about Moses. Even in Islam, Moses is recognized. They met with God, they ate with God. Nobody was there. It was just stories and all that. And people believe these stories. You see that? And one thing I ask people is that if God had an encounter with somebody, like maybe Moses and all that, has that God stopped encountering people today? Why is it that God is no longer talking to people? You see that? Has he changed his method? Has he changed? Has he changed his approach and all that? So it's funny, when you submit yourself to the God belief or the God ideology that there is a God somewhere that is ruling over earth, you have to choose which one you submitted to. That is the funny thing. You have to choose the one you submitted to. Because when you say, okay, God, then the next thing, which one? Is he the God of the Muslims or the God of the Christians? There are others, but these are the prominent ones. And whether you are, into Hinduism or whatever, you will still submit to any of these, because the world is dominated by these people, and they are more in governance than every other, religion. They are more in governance. They influence most of the policies in governance. You see that? That is the reason why it's important to educate people to come out of the God belief. When people begin to come out of the God belief, they begin to become independent. They begin to become independent and begin to know what is good for them. You see that? And begin to decide their own future. They're not going to be ruled by these ideas anymore. When the God idea is no longer in charge of your life, you become a more effective human being.